Hello and welcome to Kitty Talks. We share inspirational life stories that empower you to create yours. And today I have with me a wonderful woman who I've been watching on Facebook, and I love her tenacity and her posts. Elisa Canali is a spiritual success coach, which I love. That's right up my street. And human design, I was going to say expert. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And as I just found out, Ilsa is Italian, but she's living in Spain. So she's coming to us live from Barcelona. But Ilsa, would you mind giving my audience a kind of overview of what you're doing, who you are, and what you're doing in the world at the moment?
Yeah, so right now I live in Barcelona, and I run my online business from here. And I serve clients basically all over the world, mainly Europe, US, and Canada. Mm-hmm. And I basically work with women in business or who wants to start a business through the energetic alignment with the human design, to understand exactly, their zone of genius, the way they have to communicate, the way they have to market themselves, what is their sole purpose also, because we can see that through the human design, and then use all these gifts to create a business that is, sole purpose, in alignment with their essence and their unique energy blueprint.
So you're speaking my language, Ilsa, because this is a topic and a conversation that absolutely fascinates me, because I truly believe that we should build the right business for our energy type, for our soul. So I'm really excited to hear more about how you got into this. I'm just studying the Akashic Records, and they talk about the soul, divine soul blueprint. So that's something that I'm finding very fascinating myself. So I'm sure we can go deeper on this topic. But tell me about your transitional journey, because I know you used to work in fashion and got a bit well, it sounds like you burnt out working in fashion.
Yeah. So that's a long journey, but basically I've always knew deep down that I wanted to be a coach and helping people, but I didn't really know how. When I was like 21, I finished the university in philosophy. I finished my university in philosophy, and I was given a scholarship for merit for a master's in human resources and human resources management. So I did this master, and immediately after I started working for a fashion company in the HR department. And so from there, I worked like around 11 years within the fashion industry, always in the human resources department, but also like very, very in touch with the fashion because I was in charge in my last job to recruit designers, artistic directors. So I was going to, the fashion shows and was very connected with all the creative environment.
So when did you know, when did your soul start talking to you and say, time to leave now?
So she tried to talk to me a lot of time. And that's when I had, the moment of burnout, because I was like resisting, the change. And I was afraid of failing, of not, being smart enough, prepared enough to do my own business, my own thing. And And so I did it the first time when I was in Italy. I built an offline business as a counselor and mind and body therapist.
Mm.
And I did that for around 2 years and a half. And then when we moved to Spain, I was so scared, that to start again in a new language, in a new country.
Of course, it's
I
massive.
didn't even speak Spanish.
Wow.
And so I go back to work for the corporate world where we're safer. And I worked for around 4 years for Inditex, the company for Zara.
Oh, yes, I know, yeah.
Massimo Dutti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of them. I remember that company, actually. I don't know why. I think I might have done some work with them.
Yeah, it's a huge company, and like the level of stress in there are really, really huge, I've never seen so many people, young people, got sick, on physical level and spiritual, emotional level.
What was your pivotal moment? Like, was there a kind of, right, I've got to make this jump? Or what was the final call for you to leave that company?
So I left the company because I was like, I was about to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And in June 2016, and I didn't even have the time to organize my wedding, and I didn't enjoy any of it, this choice of the dress. So I was like, okay, has to change. My life has to come first. And so I quit that company. I took a couple of months to organize my wedding. I have my wedding, my honeymoon, and then I start building a company with a partner in UK, in London, and we had a fashion recruitment agency.
Okay.
That was all online. So I start, experience the freedom of being my own boss, working online, having my own schedule, working, internationally. But that wasn't really fulfilling from a soul point of view.
Yes.
So that's when I decided, okay, I want to be, create my own business where I can really create more impact and joy and bring more love also into other people's lives.
And how did you know that you were going to be a coach? Like, you said you wanted to do that for a very long time. Like, did you retrain or?
Yeah, so when back in Italy, like from after the university, I did 3 years master in counseling and coaching, marrying philosophy with coaching. And it was a very, very deep training and school, because really we had to work a lot on ourselves and also a lot of obviously theory and information, and was so good, very good. And then when I was in Spain, I did another master's in international coaching with Gestalt and organizational constellation for companies.
Okay. And what would you say, Ilse, to people listening to this who want to change their job? They're frustrated in what they're doing, but they're in that fearful place. Like, now, having gone through this transition of setting up your own business, retraining, doing what you really want to do in the world, like, what advice would you have for our listeners who are potentially where you were 5 years ago?
Yeah. So I would say hire a coach because for me, was really like life changing when I found my first coach here in Barcelona, and she really helped me, understand who I really was, what I really wanted. And also finding the inner strength and inner courage to go for it. And then I would say, find also a support system around you of people like people I love to call expanders that can show you what it's possible on the other side of fear. So taking like small step at the beginning to understand, okay, is this really what I want? Maybe doing, some free things, some trainings, workshop, just to understand if this is really, I don't know, for example, if someone is a designer or a web designer, maybe starting to do some project on the side of their 9 to 5 to see if they really love, the entrepreneurial journey. And then maybe, go part-time and try to do both things at the same time. And then really when they feel in alignment, go for it 100%.
And talk to me about how the human design piece is useful for our listeners, because what we talked about at the beginning is building the right business for the individual. And actually, it is really important to understand more about your unique gifts, your talents, because once we build the right business in alignment with our energy type, obviously things flow a little bit more. So could you give us an overview? I know you're now big into human design. So could you kind of talk us through a little bit about it and how people listening might be able to get the most out of it?
Yeah. So human design is a system that was downloaded in the 87 from Rararu, who was not really, even like a spiritual teacher or a spiritual guru. He just, received in the island of Ibiza this download of this powerful system that is a combination of the chakra system, the I Ching, the Tree of Life of Kabbalah, astrology, and quantum physics. So it's a very, very complex and rich system that for me basically shows us your soul contract, what your soul came into this world to do and to be, and how to fulfill your soul purpose in a way that is in alignment. Because every one of us, as human design says, we came into this world as our higher self. The problem is then after we are born, is that we receive a lot of conditioning from family, society, teachers. So we lose touch with our true essence. So
Absolutely.
human design, it's like a super powerful tool to get back in touch again with your true essence and who you are meant to be in this world and how you are meant to function in order to live your most abundant life.
And what I really like about it is obviously there's different categories. So I know obviously that I'm a projector, which is a teacher. But what I found that was really fascinating about that is that I need to wait for the invitation. And that was so eye-opening for me. So for people listening, I'll get Ilsa to go through the different categories in a minute. But with a projector, you are supposed to be a teacher. You are supposed to be educating, helping, serving people. But you have to wait until people ask for your advice. Otherwise, it will fall on deaf ears. So that was absolutely groundbreaking for me because I've really adopted that since. So if I go to somebody and I say, I've got a family thing at the moment with my cousin, and I basically have said, would you be interested in hearing more information about XYZ? I won't just launch into it until I have the invitation almost.
Yes. So, we always say with human design that, the type, as you were speaking now, projector, and the authority, that is basically your inner guidance system. If everyone would live or based on just these two elements, the world will be much better already. If all the parents will start using this as a tool of growing more conscious and free children, we will live in a more peaceful world. So, as you were saying, in human design, we divide population in 5 different energetic types. So we have the generators, manifesting generators, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors. And they are divided based on the type of energy they have into their body, and how they access to energy, and how they are supposed to behave in life and in business also. So generators are basically like the most number that we have in the world. And they are like the life force of the planet. So they have this. They have the sacral center in the chart that is defined, that is colored. That means that they have constant access to this energy. That is really the life force of the planet. So they are here basically to become master of their work and love what they are doing. And when they love what they are doing, when they are light up by the work they are doing, they light up all the people around them. They have like this energy that is like, when they are doing something they love, they can go over and over and over and over again without being tired.
So for people listening, we'll add the link, because I know Elsa sent it to me before. We'll add this in the show notes so you can find out what type you are. But I presume from what you're saying, for those manifestors, they just have to basically build a business or do a job that they really love.
Yes.
That's the key for them.
Yes. For the generators. So, and if they are maybe, as we said, before, stuck in a job they don't love, it's very important that they find like a passion project that they can dedicate their energy to, so that they keep their energy high.
Got it.
And basically, generator, what they have to do is really listening to this sacral instinct, this gut feeling, as we said, that is like a sound into their body that says haha when is yes, and haha when is no.
Okay.
Sometimes it's really learning how to go back again in touch with your body and with the wisdom of your gut to take the best decision.
So manifesting generators are you a manifesting generator? Is that right? And my husband's a manifesting generator as well.
Yes.
So what do they have to do?
So manifesting generators are an hybrid between generators and manifestors. And they are like a new type, and they are also the most, we could say, misunderstood of all the types. Because we are very, multi-passionate, multitasking. We change our minds a lot, and we love to do a lot of things at the same time. Like, we are the only type in the human design that really can multitask. And the more things we have to do, we have in our plate, the better we feel, the better we make use of our energy. Because we can go from 0 to 1,000 very quickly, and become masters of something new very, very quickly.
So the type of businesses that they would need to build would be?
They say that it's a business like, it can be, for example, blogging, or a business like mine where you can, an online business where you can really do a lot of different things at the same time. So you can have, your coaching, and then doing workshop, and then doing retreats, and then doing podcasting, a lot of different things that lights you up.
Sure. Okay, so diversity is really important for them.
And for both manifesting generator and generator, their strategy is to wait to respond. So for projector, as you said before, is wait for invitation, and for generator is wait to respond. That means that generator has a very big and enveloping aura. So when they take care of their energy and they stay in their bliss, their aura automatically attract to them opportunities, people, events, synchronicities. And then when they receive these like external things from outside, they have to respond with their sacral authority. So if it's a yes, so they can go for it. And if it's a no, or it's like a constricted feeling in the body, it means that, okay, I received this thing, but it's not for me. Thank you very much,
Okay.
So it's not about go outside and like in business, for example, it's not about going outside and like pushing and cold messaging people or, trying to make things happen. It's much more stay in your energy, stay in your happiness, in your bliss, do the things that you love, knowing that the universe will deliver the right things to you.
Okay. So we've got 2 more to go. Is that right?
Yeah.
2 more or 3 more?
2.
2 more.
Then we have 3. Then we have the manifestors. That is like around 8% of the population. And manifestor are really like the only type in human design that is capable to initiate. The typical just do it slogan from Nike, those are like the manifestors. They are the ones that have this brilliant idea and they just can take action on it and make things happen. They are like here to impact the world. They are here to impact people's lives. Like Frida Kahlo, it was a very, famous manifestor.
So I was going to ask about their type of business would be?
Their type of business would be something where they can really, use their idea and create an impact, a legacy, a movement. And then possibly having like generators or manifesting generators works for them.
Right.
Because also manifestors, they are not energy type. So manifesting generator and generators have like a constant access to energy. Mm-hmm. While manifestors, projectors, and reflectors, they do not have this constant access to energy. So they have to be very mindful on how they use their energy.
Okay. And now
then we have projectors. That is your profile. And projectors, as you said, are here to be like the guides, the coach, the mentor, the leaders. They are projector have this like very special aura that goes from the center of their body and can see directly into the center of other people's heart. So you are like very good at reading other people and see and feel what they are feeling and knowing what is best for them. But it's super important, as you said before, that you wait for the invitation, meaning that if you see something about me, but I didn't invite you to share.
I'm laughing because this is a lesson I've learned that's hard.
Yes, I will basically reject you, or I will say, no, it's not true. I don't want to hear that, They tend to face a lot of rejection because they can seems they can seem a little bossy, or I know everything. Like my husband is a projector, and we always have fight when he I know he's very wise, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want your advice.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like, you should do that and the other, and I'm like,
So I have a question, because this is something. So the way I've got round that is to say, would you be interested in hearing about X? Does that work,
Yes.
or am I cheating?
So in the relationship, in your love relationship, family, it's good. But like, if we think about business, you never have to initiate a conversation or a business, or never have to approach someone like, would you be interested to do the other, would you be interested? No, you have to shine brighter in your light, stay in your bliss and in your joy, and then magnetize naturally people to you. Like the more you are in your bliss, in your zone of genius, the more people will be like, oh, tell me more, I want to be in your energy. And they will naturally invite you to share more, and then from there to build a relationship for business.
Okay, so the best sort of careers or businesses for projectors are
coaches, mentors, leaders, counselor, all these places where you can really lead and be the guide for someone else. And it's very important that also projectors take care of their energy, because they are not energy type. So they say that they should work around 2-3 hours per day max.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but if not, you have a heavy risk of burnout.
Interesting. Really interesting. Well, I could get on board with that.
Okay.
I have to say that I tend to work in the mornings, and I tend to work first thing. Like, I like to go to the gym, and then there's a window between about 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock where I'm really productive. And that's probably about it, to be honest with you.
And that's amazing. Like, it means that you are living your design, because projectors, if they work with the right energy and with the right timing, in the 2-3 hours, they can be like hyper productive and successful, much more than if they work like 8 hours or 10 hours a day, burning themselves.
Yeah, I have to say, I've really learned to, I call it follow my excitement, and I just watch when my excitement dissipates, and I say, right, well, that's me done. I haven't, there's nothing left in the tank. So I need to, what is it next I need to do? And then usually it's take the dogs for a walk.
Yes.
So excellent. I like it.
Yes.
So do we have one more left, which is a very rare type, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, very rare. It's reflector. And they are like 1% of the whole population. Yeah. And I'm so lucky that I know 2 reflectors. And they are basically the only type that are completely undefined in all their centers. Because in human design, we have 9 energy centers, and projectors are the only one that they are totally white or undefined in all the centers. So it means that they are like a mirror, a reflection for other people, for the society. They are really super open and wise to see and to feel what is not working, what is not in the right thing. Like the things are not working properly, and to reflect back to the society and to people. They are really the mirror of the world.
And because my partner in the non-profit organization, I said this to you previously, she is a
reflector.
Reflector, sorry. Yes, and what do they have to, there's some type of they have to bring people with them. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, it's important that they, since they are so undefined, is they surround themselves with people that show and the type of energy they want to kind of quote unquote emulate. So when they are in the right environment with the right people, they really, thrive, and they really feel the most joyful. But when they are like with people that are very negative or in negative environments, they can really take all of this negative energy inside of themselves, and not really living their full potential.
Okay. So, how do they engage with people? Because I remember when I read about this and I was saying to my partner, like, you shouldn't tell people what they're supposed to do because you get their back up, but you should invite them to come along with you. Or, like, there's some very subtle distinction.
Yes.
And I've noticed with her, when she just tells me what to do, I'm like, just get lost.
Yeah. So basically, they are meant to hold the space at the center of a community, so,
that's what she does.
Yeah. So they have like an auric field, which is designed to sample the energy and auras of all the people they have around them and create really this balance into a community.
How interesting. That's exactly her role within our organization. Yeah. Yeah. She would hold and design the space and, watch what's happening within our community. So.
Wow, amazing. And they have a very unique strategy because they have to wait before making any movement or decision. They have to wait 28 days. That is a moon cycle.
That doesn't sound like her.
So
speak to me now.
So if they need, to make a big decision in life, whatever it can be, change job,
wait 28 days.
Wait 28 days. And while in these long periods, they have to speak, really speak out loud what they feel, what they are going through with people they trust.
Okay.
Just that they use these people as like a sounding board, but not because they need to receive like advice. They just need to talk through the decision and wait this lunar cycle.
Interesting. And so I presume, Ilse, do you use this in your coaching? So if you're working with someone, you work out what their human design form means, and it's more complicated, isn't it? Because that we've just literally touched the tip of the iceberg here. Like,
we have
I remember
really touched the minimum.
I got the book sent to me, and it's like it's for people. I'm holding my hands up really wide. It's like the Bible, and I was just overwhelmed because I was just like, right, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next.
Yes,
it's too much.
Yes. So yes, what I feel that fortunately, human design is becoming much more known all over the world. Also here in Spain, people start knowing more about it. So when you discover the first time, it's like, oh, I want to know everything. You read all the blogs, all the books, all the podcasts, and it can be like a rabbit hole. And it can also be very intellectual. But what is important is learning how to embody your design. Because, at the beginning I was like, oh, cool, I'm a manifesting generator. I have to wait to respond. But I was like, what does it even mean, So I worked with a human design coach for 6 months to really learn how to embody my unique energy type. But also, as you said, there is so much depth into it. What is your authority, your gates, your channels. So there is a lot of things that can really, really help you to live a life abundantly and in alignment, because it can also show you what is the best environment where you have to live, how do you have to sleep, heat, it's very, very deep and complex.
And did you find, you said you worked with a coach on your own business. So
Yes.
Have you noticed the difference in your own business and how people receive you then since you've embodied it?
Totally, because I believed all my life to be like a manifestor, like just go and do it. I'm a go-getter. And that's what a lot of us in the we have been told, like, just go for it, go for your dreams. So I was like pushing and doing and putting out their offers just because I wanted, and I was burned out, I was tired, and a lot of time people don't even respond to my offers. So now I am the one who lean back. It's very one of the words more important, like surrendering and practicing being patient and really asking for the universe a sign of, okay, send me a sign if this is the right thing for me, if I have to move on this direction, and then waiting for these signs and then respond to them.
So is that what you now do then when you're gaining clients? So you would wait to see who engages and then you would go towards
Yes. Them. So I've never liked cold message or direct message people. It's much more about okay, maybe for example I want to launch a training on human design, let's say, and instead of going out there and say, hey you, I have a training on human design, would you like it? I can ask question to my audience like, oh, would you like to have a training on human design? Are you interested in this topic? And see how they react, and then create from there.
So it's more responding rather than proactive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And for the projector type, then it would be to wait for the invitation.
Yeah, the projector type is really the only type that can, in business, we can say, can really niche down and become really an expert of something that they really, really love and master, like their expertise and their unique system, their unique way of seeing things, and then speak about this system over and over and over and over and over again, just trying to address one specific problem and one specific person. Like if they try to speak to anyone, people will not receive their message because their aura is very direct from art to art.
And interestingly, I find that people that come to me are people that have got a similar story and background to me. So they've gone through anxiety and depression, and they resonated with my story. And then I talk to them about how that they can alleviate their depression and basically get in flow through the Dharma, and find their purpose.
Totally.
And so it's interesting you say that. And that's the bit that really interests me. Like I just kind of, it's quite repetitive, but I feel like I'm going deeper and deeper on it because I'm learning more and more, and it's very subtle. But I made that conscious decision just to stay with this area and just refine my course and get it better and better and better. So it's more and more productive. So that's good confirmation. Thank you, Ilsa. So guys listening, you can hear how much information and wealth of knowledge this wonderful woman has. You can hear the passion coming through the podcast. So please do look her up, find out more about what she's doing, then go and say hello if it's something that interests you. And obviously Ilsa will wait for the invitation or wait until you
respond.
Say hello. Yeah, and respond. But Ilsa, where can people find you? How can they connect with you?
So they can find me on Instagram, where I share a lot of knowledge and stories and posts about human design. That is Elisa Canali. Or on my personal Facebook page, that is Elisa Canali, or on my website, that is elisacanali.com.
well, don't worry. We'll have all the details in our show notes, and I'll get Ilse to hook us up with the test as well, so we can put that in the show notes. If you don't know your design, then you soon will. So don't worry. But Ilse, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story on Kitty Talks. I know by you sharing your story, your journey, it will empower somebody else to step into their purpose. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll see you next week with another incredible guest on Kitty Talks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. This podcast was sponsored by my Do Your Dharma course. Create a life so good that you pinch yourself. This 8-week online course demystifies Dharma and shows you how to tune in to why you're really here. Go to www.kittytalks.com/do your Dharma.